So how's that mom and kid getting across? There's no raft down there. So there's just a lot of money being made here.
Either they do it or they're gonna kill them.
That's a stash house?
Just to cross from that side of the river to this side, they're paying. These guys, like I said, they're out here risking their lives, and at the end of the day, for what?
So what's the business model of this?
This guy here definitely sounds like cartel.
There's a raft crossing?
Look, let's go that way. We don't know where the hell they're at, but they know exactly where we're at. Once they get into the United States, they basically know they have a free pass.
What do you guys think the solution to this thing is?
They wave to them, they all wave back.
Yeah. The kids took off. That's sad.
Give it to them in the morning.
They're the ones that get screwed in all this.
I got Carter there in it.
Good afternoon, guys. Here in McAllen, Texas, a few miles from the US-Mexican border in the Rio Grande River. As many of you know, there's been an influx of migrants coming over the last few months. And as many of you also know, it's sort of hard to get a story that's not biased. Depending what network you watch is sort of what story you're gonna get. So we're gonna do this a bit differently. And this is about seeing the situation through the eyes of the locals. So I had a local reach out to me. He said, do you want to get on the Rio Grande? And I can show you what's going on currently. And I said, definitely, let's do this. So I'm gonna give it my best, guys. Everyone has an opinion. Everyone has different views of looking at the world. My goal in this series, there's gonna be a few videos here, is to really capture this situation on the ground level. More listening, less talking. I'm no expert on the border situation. I'm fully aware of that. So let's dive in, push the boundaries as much as we can, but obviously I won't be able to get in everything or every view of this situation. But from what I've seen so far, it's saddening, it's interesting, it's important. So today on the Rio Grande with a local, let's see what we can get into. Here we are. I guess the river's on the other side there.
We're gonna head that way.
We're gonna head that way. We got Raul navigating this mission, yeah?
Somewhat.
Okay. So what's the story here, Raul? How do we get through this?
We're gonna have somebody open the gate for us.
You know someone who knows someone?
On the other side of the gate is actually private property.
Okay.
So even though Border Patrol doesn't like it or anything, the property belongs to the irrigation district. So they're gonna come and open the gate for us.
Okay.
That irrigation district, even though it sounds like it's a county or a state entity, it's not. It's a private entity, so that's all private property.
Camera down.
Oh, you can record.
I can record?
Yeah.
Usually government stuff, it's not okay.
As long as it's in the view of the camera, there's nothing I can do about it. I always push everything to the limit, that's why. I know how far I could go without breaking the law. Like yesterday. That's a bus full of illegal immigrants coming this way. They can pay them somewhere along the line.
All right, guys, so that's how these things go sometimes when you're getting into the harder shoots, which this is. We're gonna have to do this again tomorrow. Day 2 on this mission. We're on. We got our guy, our contact with the boat who has the access. Now we're getting on the Rio Grande.
Yeah.
Well, they got a $10,000 reward for her return.
Okay.
Now, the body that they found down about 50 miles south of us, they haven't confirmed that it's her yet or not.
I guess it's a missing person case he's dealing with.
The marshals could
We got
check
the
out
border
numbers.
wall.
If not, like I said, they could also trace it when the calls come in and stuff. So they just gotta get a warrant for it. That's it.
So I want to be clear, this is still the US side. It's just the fence is back from the river. So we didn't cross into Mexico. This is still US.
Okay, thank you.
A lot going on, as you can tell. Here's border patrol. The river, obviously. I don't know what that is.
That's a pump house.
That's the pump house? Okay.
They got generators there. That way, if the electricity shuts off, they're still able to supply water to the city of McAllen and whoever else.
All right. And here's our boat ramp, huh?
Yeah.
We got the boat coming down. This is Raul's friend. Raul, little background. He's part of the United Cajun Navy, which, in short, what are you guys doing out here?
Basically, we got a crisis going on. People fleeing from their home countries headed to the United States. As a matter of fact, I was looking at Facebook a little while ago in La Jolla. They got about 600 people detained within 2 hours. So it's
But
bad.
United Cajun Navy, you guys, I mean, and guys, I want you to let you know, without these guys, I wouldn't be getting here, that's for sure.
We got nothing to do with immigration or any of that stuff. We're just trying to show the people in the world that, you know what, there is a problem of people coming this way for whatever reason they're fleeing their country. Every morning around 5 in the morning, down there in that fenced-in area, that's where they put that gate down there.
Okay.
You'll find a bunch of illegal aliens hidden there.
So there's no guarantees. Sometimes they're busier than others, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. There's certain times that are busier than others because they know the change of shifts for law enforcement.
So are we hitting a busy time?
We should be hitting one.
That's Mexico.
That's Mexico.
That close.
You see how you have the dirt that comes down? Those cleaned areas?
Yep.
That's where people come down through those areas right there.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to start with some basic questions, but have you seen a big increase, like there's a big increase, or tough to say, or nobody's really counting, or how does that work?
Well, can't tell you number-wise. The only way is to look up the stats and see what the stats show and everything else and take it from there. But like I said, physically, you see people in a line waiting to get on the rafts to come across.
Right.
And they'll go back and forth 2 or 3 rafts at a time.
Yeah, he said everything's gonna be over here.
That cooperation.
Who told them that?
Border Patrol supervisor.
All right.
That's what I'm telling you. They have gag orders on them where they can't say nothing.
Yeah.
But you know what? They want the story to be out there.
Yeah.
So they'll give us inside information and stuff.
It's your buddy John with a sweet boat.
The hell with the boat? Look at the truck.
Yeah, that truck's pretty dope.
Slowly.
No guarantees on what we're gonna see. Depends the day, the time, a whole bunch of factors. But one thing we're gonna learn is exactly about what's going on here currently from these guys who are out here all the time. So let me ask you this, Raul.
Yes.
You and John have the bulletproof vests on, but we're out here without them. Is that like the dad with the helmet and the kid doesn't have one?
You're safe. Don't worry, my son. You are safe. You don't see I'm the one getting wet.
And this is Maya. Maya's also in the United Cajun Navy. Should we wear these or no?
Okay, there's none here. You want to put one on? You put one on.
I can swim pretty well, but if I get shot, then I don't swim well.
We don't need it, unless it's an emergency, but...
Yeah, like the life jackets over there, just so y'all can know. There's a donut up here. We'll get out of the area. If something's wrong, we'll get out of the area. Don't worry.
All right. No bullets, but occasional
We're all
rocks
going
coming in.
home today. Remember that.
Throw it in. Oh, people live right here. People live right here, yeah?
You'll see places that have houses or ranches or whatever along the river.
Wow. So the homes are right here, and then these are the pathways? Or what's going on exactly?
The majority of these where you see the cleared out area, they're the pathways where people come down.
Okay.
You'll see areas like you got debris there, of whatever debris they might have thrown, water bottles, Coke cans, their clothes and stuff like that.
Okay, so what's the law here? We can be on this side of the river?
The middle of the river to my left is the United States. The middle of the river to the right is going to be Mexico. So we could be in the middle of the river to the left only. We can't cross into Mexico, because if we do, that means we have to come through a port of entry to come back to the United States, even though we are in the water.
Ro, walk us through exactly what's going on currently at the border. Like, what are you seeing? You guys live down here. There's been an influx, obviously, of migrants over the last few months. What's really going on? What happens when they cross?
Literally, since the new administration took office, basically they made an open door for people to come into the United States. Once they get to Mexico over here in Reynosa, they'll cross the river in rafts or however they're going to cross. Once they get into the United States, they basically know they have a free pass, because ever since the new administration took office, they have a 100-day no deportation. So what that means is if you're OTM, other than Mexican, you will cross into
OTM.
OTM.
Can you bring the mask down? I just want to...
OTM. OTM stands for other than Mexicans. Basically, you're from Mexico, they'll deport you back to Mexico. If you're from anywhere else, they'll allow you into this country.
What about Middle East, Africa, those countries?
As far as I know, those countries will be deported back.
Okay, so other than Mexicans, the migrants come over. What I've seen so far is mostly women and children.
The majority is women and children.
So what's the business model of this? They have a coyote on this side that they're paying to navigate them through here.
Basically what they're doing, they're paying somebody on that side, which what they'll do is they'll stage them in a stash house.
Yep.
From there, they'll say, you know what, they're monitoring Border Patrol. Once they're monitoring their movement and stuff, they'll decide to bring them down to the river. So you know what, coast is clear, they'll go ahead and bring them across.
But okay, well, if our Border Patrol is taking them in no matter what, then why do they need coast is clear?
Because not everybody wants to be caught. Like I said, if you're from South America, like you said,
yeah.
You're from South America, they're the ones who are going to get caught and get released.
Okay.
But what they do is they'll send the families and stuff one direction, and then the other directions where they'll send your Africans, your Chinese, and all those other people, so they could get into the country. Since Border Patrol is tied up on one side, they send them to the other side, and they're able to try to get into the country.
So there's just a big game right now.
Cat and mouse.
Played cat and mouse.
Yes.
Okay, what about the border guys over here, the U.S. guys? What's their story right now?
Basically, they're trying to do their job, but they can't. Due to the 100-day no deportation, these guys are risking their lives, putting their lives on danger, trying to do their job. They're out chasing people through all rugged kind of terrain. Some get hurt. Some are not protected by the vaccine and stuff due to COVID. But they're out here doing their job because that's what they get paid to do. And like I said, at the end of the day, they get demoralized because they're not able to do their job correctly. Right. The illegal aliens are saying, hey, here I am. You're my taxi ride and stuff. And it's like, come on, these guys, like I said, they're out here risking their lives. And at the end of the day, for what? They need the nation to know, you know what, there is a problem with the immigration problem,
right,
with our administration, and something needs to give, and give quickly. That way these guys can do their job efficiently and get things done right.
Is there an increase of guys here? Because I noticed in my hotel, there are more of these guys.
Yes, what happens right now, since they have so many people crossing, they're bringing out Border Patrol agents from all around the country this way. They're setting them up at hotels and stuff, and that way they're able to be in this area for whatever time period is needed.
So there's just a lot of money being made here.
There's a lot. You could just imagine what they're charging, and this is coming from some of the people we've talked to. Yeah. Just to cross from that side of the river to this side, they're paying $3,500 just to cross just the river itself. They have their smuggler that brings them across, puts them to the United States side. Hey, get off, and then he'll go right back and load up another one and just back and forth.
but what I was saying was, if you were a solo person, Honduran, Guatemalan, whomever, and you wanted to do it yourself,
You gotta pay the cartel.
there's no way to get to this line without running into the cartel.
On them, they would have to pay the cartel.
So the people that own the ranches here, they have to let the coyotes and the cartels just control their land, or what?
Basically, yes. The way it happens in Mexico, either they do it or they're going to kill them. Well, they might be getting paid because you know what? Here, shut up, stay out of my way.
Okay.
Option 1 or option 2 is, like I said, they'll kill them.
Yeah. And it can also be looked at as a lot of people are fleeing bad situations, and I bet they can feel good about it. Oh, we're letting them to a better life type thing. Is that possible?
I think they just do it out of fear. If they're the landowners, I think they just do it out of fear. Because if deeper into Mexico, you'll have different cartels go and say, you know what, I'm taking over your land and that's it. And what do you do?
Yeah. You don't go to the cops.
Most of the cops are paid off. So.
Yeah. Something you don't realize until you go to a lot of the world and realize that's how the systems work in different places, and you come back to the States and you're like, oh wow, if some mafia dude says they want to use my land, I can actually talk to the cops and go through a process here.
Yeah, but usually you don't have someone that goes up to you and says, I'm gonna take away your land, I'm gonna use your land.
Yeah, it doesn't even happen.
At the end of the day, there's no way the hell they could do it on the US side.
Exactly. So guys, it can be fair to say that there's no crisis here. You don't see much. I mean,
it all depends where you're standing.
Okay.
Because you gotta remember, this is a long river, a long border.
Yeah.
So just because we don't see it in one part doesn't mean it's not happening somewhere else.
As soon as we're out of sight, they're gonna start crossing.
As soon as we're out of sight, they'll cross.
They're just waiting for us to leave.
So what do we do? Hide and then hit full throttle back?
No, I'm gonna try to go that way and then slowly come back so they don't hear the boat. But you can hear this engine from way downriver.
Even though it's like that, you can hear it. Trust me, they're monitoring everything. They know exactly where the hell we're at. Because like I said, I got scouts over there, you got scouts over here. You don't see them. And the reason why I tell you don't see them, the other day I was having a conversation yelling at somebody that was somewhere in that brush. They're yelling at me, I'm yelling at them. We're communicating back and forth. So that's why I'm telling you that we don't know where the hell they're at, but they know exactly where we're at.
You can't see them, but they can see us.
So they see Gringo with a GoPro.
They don't know what the hell you're holding. It looks like a mic. Even though they're old abandoned buildings and stuff, I'm gonna assume they're stash houses and they've been there for a long time.
So why would they dump all their clothes before getting over the border?
No, what happened, like I said, they're stash houses. So the stash houses, it's all the debris that's left over when they change and stuff. What do they do with all the stuff?
There's a raft crossing right there. Look.
There's a raft crossing?
Look, let's go that way.
All right.
We got action. Your guess.
And that raft just went back, I think.
Yeah, let's just hold on. Let it come this way.
Yeah, but okay, the part I'm not understanding is if they can get over and Border Patrol will take them in no matter what, is there other than Mexican, then why have lookouts?
Because we don't know what exactly crossed. You might have had a few people carrying packs of drugs or something.
Okay.
Or like I said, that's the people they don't want to get caught. Whether they're from Africa, China, Russia, the other people that pay high dollar to come into this country. Well, like I said, maybe the normal people pay $15,000 to come from Guatemala this way.
15,000 from Guatemala.
Yes.
How's that possible?
Where they come up with the money, I have no idea.
Yeah.
They took it up. All right, guys. There was a raft that I don't think the GoPro
right
captured, but it went right up.
It was right here in this area.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled that it's a family just having leisure time. That family's out there, or whoever it is, they're all going to be reporting downriver to the people down the river. Hey, they're all watch out.
So guys, just to make it clear, if these were normal asylum seekers, they wouldn't care that we're here. They just go over, right? Because once they're there, they're let in, right?
Well, like I said, even though they know they're going to be caught, but what happens is the ones
Caught
that
on the U.S. side, yeah.
You don't want your own people caught either. The scouts are watching out for Border Patrol boats and stuff like that. Because what happens if they all of a sudden come in the raft and a boat is there and it's Border Patrol? Now they're people that are maneuvering those boats to the United States are going to get caught.
They get caught.
Yes.
Oh.
So they don't want their people caught.
Didn't know
They don't want those rafts to,
Yeah, you need to understand.
because they're
that-
smuggling.
You need to understand that it's not just people that are wanting to get caught across. There's the people that are wanting to come across and not get caught, are people that are wanted from, sexual,
Whatever crimes.
people wanted for other crimes and shit from other countries. They're trying to sneak their way into this place here.
Okay, so it's a bit of everything. So the guy paddling the boat,
There's a mix.
he could get caught by U.S. Border
And,
Customs.
yeah, that's what they want.
Gotcha.
So I said, that's the reason why they have to watch what's going on so their people don't get caught. Imagine every time they did something, they have 2 or 3 rafts. Those rafts are not expensive. I mean, those rafts are not cheap.
Yeah.
They're expensive. So imagine they lose a raft every time they come out. It cuts into their profit. And everything these days is about profit and money. That's why they charge what they charge, and they don't want to put their own people at risk or their operation.
And it's the kids that get roped into this crap.
The majority of the time, yes.
You'll be surprised how trained these kids are.
Yeah.
How trained they are.
Because trust me, if that little kid's making $20 to sit there and play, and hey, let me know if anybody shows up. Like I said, that's $20 in Mexico. It's a lot of damn money.
So the cartels will pay the kids.
They'll pay them whatever they pay them. I'm just giving an amount, but
Yeah.
they pay them. They're scouts, believe it or not. Yeah, wave to them. They all wave back.
Yeah.
Just let them know, hey, wait, I did have to you.
¿Qué tal está el agua? ¿Está fría? ¿No está hondo?
See, I'm walking. The other one alerted them. They're gonna alert someone else.
Yeah, he's
It's-
moving.
It's just a little change. Like these might have been ready to cross right now, but we just
Yeah,
spoiled
go.
them.
Can we go quick? Can we get up there and see it?
Okay,
They're
they're coming
running down.
We can go, I mean, I can't go that far, but...
No, but go quick because they're gonna pull it up. They're down in the grass or what?
Right there, look at it.
Oh, he's got a goat.
It's like Border Patrol. You have Border Patrol sitting here.
Yeah.
The minute they go that way, they come this way.
Yeah. How does this make you guys feel living on the border?
Was
Happy, sad?
Well, it's sad what they're doing because you know what? They take the risk and they might not even make it. We
Yeah.
actually found a dead body farther down on the Mexico side, so we couldn't approach it, but they looked like they were sliced in half. So like I said, they do take the risk, and there's other people that might get, the females that might get raped and whatever else might happen along the way. So it's saddening because you know what? They put their lives at risk for what they're doing.
How do you feel about on the U.S. side, living on this side and what's going on from your perspective?
At the end of the day, like I said, if you don't have people like you that come out here and let people know around the world what's going on, you don't know what's going on. You don't see it. It's like normal life here in the valley.
Yeah, that's true. Good point. So in McAllen, the big city over the border here, it's like, until Raul showed me and these are in other videos, like where the COVID testing is, where the Christian, the Catholic organization is that's sending people away, in the airport, bus stations, you would never really know anything's happening. You wouldn't, unless I went in with you. So this is the crossing, the U.S.
That's the
Mexico
port of entry. Once he gives a clear, people will come down the hill or wherever they're hitting back there, they'll come out from behind and come out this way.
So do you know any of these guys?
Nope. You just wave at them and let them know we pose no threat to them. See, there's a raft right there. That's where they're coming up through.
Okay.
Right across from where he is. They actually throw a ladder up. They'll throw a ladder up on that fence, and they'll hop that fence right there in front. Because once you cross right there, you got an empty parking lot. You got a plaza.
Yeah.
And you got hundreds of people already walking there, doing shopping in those plazas. So once they cross, they get lost into those people.
If the wall's not working, why not? What's the point? If it's...
The wall is not there to actually stop anybody. The wall is there just as another tool to help out Border Patrol. That's what people don't understand.
Okay.
That wall, like I said, you put a ladder against it. In New Mexico, I believe, or in Arizona, they literally built a ramp to drive over the wall. They literally did that. That wall is just another tool. You got agents that are your tool. You got your vehicles, your ATVs, your motorcycles, your horses, your aerostat balloons that are up there and stuff. You got drones that they fly,
So
helicopters.
how's it a tool if it's not working so well?
It does, because what happens, instead of, say like this is your fence right here.
Okay.
Instead of, pretend there was no fence.
Yeah.
Imagine how many agents you would have to have in that area to monitor this area.
Okay.
But if there's a fence, you got an opening over here and opening over here, that means you just really got to put one agent over here, one over here, and one maybe in the middle.
So not everyone comes with their own ladder, is what you're saying.
Yes, because like I said, you could actually go around the fence.
What about going under it?
Going under that, I have no idea. I know in other states they have done tunnels,
Yeah.
but as far as going under it, I have no idea. It has not been done here yet.
On the way back, there's a tunnel that I'm gonna go.
Oh yeah, there's a tunnel over there that they sealed off, but that's is basically the old drainage system into the city.
Okay.
And back in the day, the cartel did use that to smuggle drugs into the United States, because they would go into those huge tunnels, take up their drugs and then do whatever they're going to do.
So right now, it's really hard to know who exactly is coming over, but it's a collection of everyone, right? It's like innocent mom, it's a hardworking guy from bad situation, it's drug guy, it's human trafficker guy. It's a bit of everything,
mix of everybody.
right?
That's the reason why there's a right way to do this and a wrong way. The right way is to come on. This is your footbridge. Come in. You're gonna walk in and say, you know what? I'm here to claim asylum. I got a problem in my country. This is the country I'm from.
Yep.
And that's the proper way to do it.
Yep.
Not crossing the river and saying, hey, I'm seeking asylum. So. See up there.
Cameras. Oh, on the U.S. side here.
As we
Okay.
approach, you're gonna see a cartel stash house. You're gonna see possibly a drug house. They have their own private ramps. They can launch a boat off at any time.
The drug house.
Yeah. And it's easy for them because Border Patrol spots them. They want to get away. All they gotta do is race back home and get on the ramp, and they're done.
Yeah.
So like they're just watching out the area, just saying.
These guys are getting ready to cross people.
Okay.
They're looking out and they're making sure the area is clear.
And you guys wave to each other. Why?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got to be friendly, you know.
Let them know that we pose no threat to them. We're friendly.
We're not here to interrupt their operation. We're not here to do anything against them. We're just here to video and take footage, and that's it.
And we'll let them know there's times where we'll get into conversations with them where they'll say, hey, let us do our job. We say, hey, we pose no threat, do whatever you're gonna do. We're not cops or anything. We'll let them know, hey, their thing is their thing. We don't care, and we ain't getting involved. We're here for a whole different purpose. We're not Border Patrol.
Here's some more guys up behind you. What's this?
Well, they're the family right there. So.
He's got a work badge. There's some waving going on.
Again, they're all gonna play the part.
They play the part.
Of course, they have to bring their family out here. They're gonna play the part that they're here as a family, but they're actually looking out. You know, somebody got to be getting paid.
So how's that mom and kid getting across? There's no raft down there.
Well, they might have it right there on the other side of the hill where we don't see it. Or they might have dug a certain section where they have it hidden or something.
Oh my God, so that mother and child might have come all the way from
Wherever.
deep into Central America. This is the end of their journey.
Yep.
This is the last stand for them.
Yep.
And they know if they get
There's a
there,
crossing spot right there that's they've been using. It's fresh.
right. So they know they spent thousands and thousands of dollars. How many months do you think to get here?
I've talked to some
Central
people on the
America?
river. They've taken 2 months. The longest I've heard is up to 4 months to get here. There's some people said I took 2 weeks to get here, but I didn't ask where he was from. So he's explaining to the woman whatever he's explaining to her.
Giving her strategy of how to get across.
Well, they could say, you know what, you see that tower right over there. Once you get to that tower, take a right or whatever. Like, because he is pointing to this side and someone talking to her. So what he's telling her, who knows?
Right.
Why would he point to the United States side? There ain't nothing to point at.
Yeah, what is this?
I don't know.
Well, we're starting to think that maybe the cartels took over this place, and this is where they launch out of.
You saw those guys up there. Mother and child, I'm sure they're going. And they just need to get over. And I'm trying to get into the mother and the child's head. It's probably like they're probably feeling nervous as hell and super euphoric at the same time. Like, okay, this is the last stop. They probably went through hell to get here. This is the last stop. And once I get to the US side, I'm in. They know they're in because that's the way things are right now. Mother and children are not going to be sent back, other than Mexican, from what Raul said, and maybe some Middle Eastern or Asian countries, but Central South America, they get there, they're in. I did the whole other video on like the process of what happens after they get to the US side. Interesting how they all wave to each other. Like they all understand, like, don't infringe too much on me, I won't infringe too much on you. And there's that, you know, game back and forth. Quite surreal out here, guys. You were saying the people from Central America, most of them, they're selling everything they have. Their home,
Anything, just to get over here.
anything. So what do you guys think the solution to this thing is? It's like one of the most complex topics we have
Well,
these
they
days.
gotta re-implement the prior administration's policies.
Okay.
Because what happened, they had an agreement with Mexico. That way they would keep them on that side. They wouldn't come to this side. Trump eventually made that agreement with Mexico. The Mexico president is also mad with all this open door policy because it hurts that country, which is the country of Mexico.
Why don't they protect their border better? The Mexican, because they even have a shorter border.
Well, they have practically the same border, but I can't answer that. I have no idea.
Probably people getting paid off.
Well, you could say they have their we might run into the military right now hovering above us or whatever. I said, you do have their stuff. Now, how they operate, I have no idea. So I can't tell you what they do or how they do it. I can lie to you and tell you something, make up something, but it's not going to happen.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Let's clear up your confusion.
Okay, clear my confusion, please.
What is your confusion?
I understand the whole part why people want to go to a better life. I would do it 100%. If I was in Honduras and poor, I'd be the first guy running over. You know, I get that part. The confusion is why we can have on our side, like why the legal process seems murky. It seems gray. It's not really like anyone can come over other than Mexican. Some of the men I think get sent back because I've seen mostly women and children. But
well, most of the men have been arrested before for doing something. That's why.
But I don't see anything. I don't see how this is sustainable. Like how it can keep going indefinitely. That's what I'm trying. That's why I'm confused.
Stops after the 100 days.
You don't find it confusing at all, or what's your take, John? Living here.
My thoughts are that.
Can you cut the engine? Do you mind, actually?
I could, but I don't want to float into.
Okay, yeah, don't worry
John,
about
I'm gonna rub off.
My thoughts are that.
Or just speak loud.
Stupid thoughts.
No.
I guess, but I'm thinking that Biden's letting all these people come. Eventually, all these people are going to be. They'll become citizens.
Yeah.
And those are going to be votes for him.
Exactly.
Those are my thoughts.
He'll be dead by then.
Well, no, but if
for the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
So they're going to say, who let me in? The Democrats did. So they're going to stick with that.
I mean, you can imagine.
But okay, but it's fair to say last election, more Hispanic. I think the Republicans are more of a Hispanic.
You're right, Hispanics, and we do have a lot of even Mexicans, not Hispanics. We're Hispanics, so we're from Texas. You had Mexicans from Mexico that do support Trump. Also, it's not just us. But what happened in this case? If pretend you were from Honduras.
Yep.
And they gave you a chance without no problems to say, you know what, you're an American citizen. Here are your papers. Here's your Social Security.
Right.
Aren't you going to be grateful to who did it, which your president was a Democrat?
I mean, you can dig so far too. You can go back. Republicans used to bring illegals for cheap labor in Central Valley, California.
I understand all that. I understand that. But in this case, like I said, these people are fleeing their country because this person gave them an opportunity to say, come, let's go. You got 100 days. That's basically what he did. He didn't do it in that manner, but he basically, hey, you got 100 days, let's go.
Okay, but let's. On the other side, they come over, they get asylum papers, they have to come back to a court date in McAllen or wherever, which probably won't happen for the majority.
Even if they don't, you still go back to, you know what, we're going to give amnesty to everybody.
Right.
Like they tried back a few years ago with the DACA and all that stuff. And I know that's a very touchy situation.
Yeah.
But like I said, at the end of the day, if they say, hey, you know what, we're going to forgive everybody from this date on or whatever, now what? And that will piss off people. I'll just give you an example. My wife did everything the right way. She's an American citizen now. So why can't
how'd she come over?
She came over with a resident card. She got a resident card, and from there she went ahead and started working and stuff, and then she got her process done.
Okay, what about this though? I hired a guy a long time ago. He came to the States when he was 3 months old. He doesn't even speak Spanish.
That's why that's a delicate situation, because what happens there,
he doesn't even know Mexico.
You would have to go a case-by-case situation when someone is detained and they're thinking about deporting them back, and the judge would have to take that into consideration, because that is a delicate situation.
Yeah.
Like they were born in Mexico, and no fault of their own, they are over here.
Yes.
And now they want to deport them. So like I said, that has to be worked out. And I guess he would have to actually prove, you know what, I have been here since I was 3 years old, and prove that in some way, whether it's with school records or whatever.
Yeah.
That way they could go and say, you know what, we are going to let you stay in this country. Unless he committed a felony, and then that'll be something different. Like they got him on a traffic ticket or something that's totally wrong. But if he did a felony, or he did something to a minor or somebody, you know what, by all means, it's getting the heck out of this country.
Yeah.
Because I don't even want American citizens that have done that to kids and stuff to be in this country.
What about the argument that the current policy is because it's humanitarian? It's helping people out. They're coming from a shitty situation.
But how do we know their actual true story on each and every single person? Maybe some, yes, but
Maybe some looking for the opportunity, like I would be. I would be running right over.
and I know a lot of people that live here in the valley that are illegal. They're all good people. I got nothing against anybody. You know what? You got the right to do whatever to make your life and live your life and get ahead in life. Never hold anybody down. But like I said, there's also a right way to come into this country and a wrong way to do it.
Yeah.
That boat that came upon them in the water was parked right there on this ramp right here.
Okay.
So that boat is the one who showed up with them over there with 7 armed people with machine guns. So if you put 1 and 1 together, it's going to equal 2 in this case. The state of Texas should be spending about $25 million every 3 months for border security. How did I get those numbers? The last time we did this thing where they brought in 1,000 National Guardsmen and DPS and everything, that's what it came out to. They got to pay housing, which are hotels for the National Guard. Got to pay hotels for DPS.
Yep.
They got to pay for their food for all 3 meals and whatever else they're paying for besides the payroll and everything else. So they're spending about $25 million every 3 months for border security.
25 million every.
Texas.
Okay.
Texas alone.
And then the feds, who knows? Huh?
Yeah.
What were they paying before?
Well, nothing. Cause what happened? I said this before the surge.
Oh,
this is
okay,
extra
okay.
manpower dedicated for border security.
Yeah.
Through the state of Texas.
Okay.
So they're going to take away money from education and whatever else to be able to throw money to DPS's fund so they can support all this.
We think that's a stash house too.
That's a stash house?
I would say yes.
You see an AC on it?
What do you mean, no AC means stash house?
No, that's just an abandoned building, but there's an AC unit right there by the second window.
Yeah, it's got to be used still. I mean, it ain't there just to be there.
I said, you put people up there on the top floor to watch. Like I said, you got the bird's eye view of whatever's going on this side over here.
Do you see the type of glass that's up there?
It's reflectant, yeah.
And a barbecue pit in the back?
The governor of Texas claims that this is a war zone.
Yeah.
They're paying DPS hazard pay. And right now, I understand it's needed. I understand, you know what,
Yeah.
we do got that flux, but there is no need to say, you know what, the valley is a war zone because you went out to eat the other day alone. You didn't get shot at.
Yeah.
You weren't dodging bullets anywhere. You weren't wearing a Kevlar vest. So the valley is not a war zone. It is actually safe to live with your family. And I understand everything's about government funding. And that's what it is. You know what? We need more money for this. We need more money for that. So the governor tells the federal government, these are our numbers. This is what we're doing. This is the operations we're running. Well, those operations, like I said, are costing millions to do. So they want to try to get reimbursed. For every person that comes in, if they're getting that packet is, like the rumor says, $1,200. They have the picture of them. They have the paperwork. They have all that stuff. Plus, like I said, some are getting hotels. They're getting their meals paid for. They're getting clothes to put on and stuff. All paid for by somebody. Nothing's for free in this world. So the Catholic Charity might be doing it, but they're getting government funding. The Border Patrol might be doing it, but they're getting government funding. And where does that government funding come from? The normal taxpayers.
Yeah, and all they have to do is get to from this side. This is the last step. Once you get there, you get all of those things you're talking about.
Yep.
And then you can sort of dissolve into the population because you can go anywhere, right? Once you get to the U.S. side.
Once you get those walking papers that allow you to go anywhere in the United States, you can disappear anywhere. You don't have to come back for your court date.
Okay, but guys, don't you feel empathy for the mom that's fleeing some situation with a kid?
Let me give you a story here. My dad was a Vietnam veteran. My dad worked for the county at that time, maybe for about 17 years for the county. He worked for the sheriff department. He lost his job for whatever reason. I won't go into detail on that, but he lost his job. He was almost 2 years without a job. He was living off credit card by credit card. This credit card pays this bill and this one pays that bill and so on. He went to go ask for government assistance, food stamps, whatever. They denied him.
Why?
That's why. Why? They said he had 2 vehicles. He went, yes, I have 2 vehicles. I'm paying on both of those vehicles. I'm paying on the place that I live on. He went, I got no money coming in. Haven't had money coming in for almost 2 years. I'm a Vietnam veteran. And I've never asked this country for shit. And for you to deny me, the one time I do come for help, for y'all to deny me, my dad, then he said, look at those, and I'm going to, excuse my word, I'm going to use SOB. Look at those SOBs in the lobby.
Yeah.
They're full of gold watches, cell phones, all this stuff. And you're going to give them everything they want, money plus food stamps. And why? I'm an American citizen. They're not. So that was the end of that. My dad was fucking pissed.
So this is one of the most politicized issues, would you say?
Yes.
Right now?
Well, it was, but then all of a sudden they put a pause on it. There's very few people pushing the issue now. Maybe about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, it was a heavy issue. But all of a sudden everything went silent.
Why? Different flow or no?
No, we got the same flow coming in and stuff and more.
And the US side, guys, different reality. Even just seeing nature, I mean, no trash. Two different worlds right on top of each other. And I don't want to say Mexico is a terrible country, because it's not. I've had great times in Mexico City and Oaxaca I went to. That was cool.
Okay.
It's a very much mixed up country, so this is not one of its charming places. Not all Mexico is like this border zone, that's for sure.
¿Cómo está la pesca en estos aguas? Habla bien con la tarriata. Tarraya. Gracias.
You think they live there, or they're coming over?
Well, he says he's fishing. He caught one fish. I asked him how's the fishing here.
Do you think they're here? They're locals?
Yeah, well, the other ones went up there to go hide. You see? Why go hide? Yeah, they're scouts there.
They're scouts.
Yeah.
All right. That's sad, guys.
Hello. Right now, over here in
Right.
Hidalgo.
Just the kids took off.
No, I got one in the office only.
That's
I'll
sad.
give it to you in the morning.
They're the ones that get screwed in all
Oh, I
this.
got Carla there.
And they're just sitting up in the tree up there. See that?
Yeah.
Ah, man, they're all
So
scared.
They're scouts. They're not
They might be
fishermen.
getting ready to cross over here. That's why they're just pretending to be doing what they're doing.
Kill it.
Oh, that looks like a.
Those air mattresses.
Air mattress, yeah. It's stuck.
Yeah, that's got to be a tough job what these guys are doing, huh?
Makes it even harder with all this other BS that's going on.
Yeah.
There's sensors on the ground that alert them that someone crossed to a certain area. So you might get the sensor and say, you know what, boom, 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 it just went off 20 times. They'll tell them there's 20 bodies that just passed. So now if they only got 15 people here, they're out looking for those other 5 bodies that they missed. I've never seen people there before. I've seen horses and stuff.
So that's very well just people on the Mexican side hanging out on a hot day.
I'm gonna say yes, for them, yes.
Okay. What are those tires for?
They hide behind those tires for coverage. Look over here, behind you.
Okay, well that's a glimpse of what it's like on the Rio Grande. Cat and mouse game, huh?
Basically, yes.
Cat and mouse. So we didn't see any boats crossing, as you could see, but it is a hot place from what I've been told and from what I've seen with the Donna processing facility, right? That's a massive
holding center, yes.
Expansion of what it was. So thanks for coming along on that, guys. I also want to leave a link down below for the United Cajun Navy. Raul's part of it. They help with all sorts of disasters, and there's no way I'd be able to make these videos without them. So if you want to give to hurricane or tornado relief, or even here, I don't know if you guys are doing anything here yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. This is the organization. And lastly, I got to say, this is pretty difficult content to get, and it's confusing, it's heavy, it's a difficult situation, but the stories need to be shown. Hope you got something out of that. I'll have quite a few other stories about the border region in the playlist below. Thanks for coming along. Until the next one.